Hey everybody, and welcome to the June 13th weekly update. Not a whole lot of stuff to go over this week, just a few bullet points, and so it'll be short and sweet and right to the point. First off, June 13th, so we're almost halfway through the month, so we started off strong. This past week we kind of slipped, and we didn't get the volume numbers that we needed, and estimate count backed off. I'm thinking that a lot of graduation stuff was going on. So, but that's all behind us now. So it's kind of like no more excuses, and we need to forge ahead and get us back on pace. So, with that being said, remember, have your game plan every time a customer comes in. At the very least we want to do is check out samples to the customer, and that way we get them into the computer so that we can do follow-up and try to close that job. But hopefully when a customer comes in for the first time, we get samples checked out and we get into their home. Okay, the estimate count is the secret to our success. Okay, the more estimates we do, obviously, the more jobs we close, the better the numbers, all those types of things. So lately the estimate count has been on the decline, so we need to get that back up. So really push for that free, no obligation estimate or complimentary proposal is what we're referring it to. And actually the closure rate on the estimates has dipped a little bit. So so if you're feeling you might be losing the job after you've done the estimates or they're not closing, don't be afraid to go to your store manager and get some extra loving and try to close those ones. So okay, you always got to look at the jobs and say, you know, it's better to get it at a lower margin than it is to miss out on the job. So so if there's any chance that we can get the job and if it's profitable, we definitely want to do it and grab those. So my goal is, let's say, you know, we keep doing the current pace and that our normal good margins and everything, that we can actually close another 10 or 20% of the estimates by diving down and dipping down on the price when we have to grab those. So if you ever need help, don't be afraid to go to your store manager. Okay. Next thing was organization. I actually heard a story. I was watching TV the other day, and they're talking about operating rooms and operations, obviously, by surgeons and things, which are obviously held in high esteem, and they're well educated and masters and all that type of thing. But they said about 3 or 4 years ago, they implemented kind of a to-do list for every surgery, things that had to be done. And since they did that, actually the 1/3 of the amount of people that passed away during surgeries declined. So 1/3 people that would have passed away before the to-do list no longer are. So if that kind of makes sense. So nationwide they're saving all these extra lives because the surgeons have an actual step-by-step or a to-do list while they're performing the surgery. And I said, man, that's just incredible. And they always thought before that the surgeons had it under control and they knew everything to do. Well, apparently, according to this report, anybody in any type of business, if you have a list, and that's what they said, the first thing is that you need is a notepad and a pen, and if you have a list, you're going to be much more successful. And I was thinking, boy, you know, we used to ask all the salespeople to carry around their notepads and pens and ask during the qualifying process and asking the customer questions and jotting down their name and jotting down notes and all that things. And I said, you know, we kind of got away from that, but boy, it sure does make a lot of sense. You know, if you're interacting with a customer and you've kind of when you first introduced yourself and you kind of go through the bonding stage, and now you're getting into the qualifying, talking about, you know, what they're looking for, what's the project, things like that, traffic patterns, maintenance issues, longevity, things like that. If you could actually make a list and start jotting down those notes, two things. One, it's going to help you organize, remember everything that's important to them, so you're going to be a better chance of finding the proper product. But even two, maybe even more important than that, is that you're going to let the customer know that you're really listening to them. Okay, you're just not, you know, kind of half-heartedly going through the motions, that they're that important, that you're actually writing down and taking notes. Now, I know in the past it's been extremely successful, and apparently, according to these surgeons nationwide, since they implemented this, it's been extremely successful for them. So I would implore you, matter of fact, I'd almost demand it of you that everybody carry a notepad in their back pocket, or when they're going out on the floor and interacting with customers for the first time. Have the notepad, the pen and the paper, and jot down what they're saying. You'll impress them, as well as it'll make it easier for you to find the right product for them. So I thought that was a really good tip, and it was, like I say, I got it from watching the surgeons on TV the other day. So another thing is the new wood glue video is up, so there's two of them. One is talking about concrete and how we have to explain that to the customer. The second video talks about the two new wood glues that we're carrying, the dry tack, the kind of standard glue, and then the upgraded glue. It talks a little about the form that the installers and the estimators will be using, and we should probably make the customer aware of that they'll be using the moisture meter. Chances are the installer will, after they've pulled up with the existing floor covering, because again the moisture meter has to be directly on the floor, and then also along with maintenance. So we kind of incorporate that into our sales pitch now when we have wood customers, to glue, concrete, and proper maintenance. So, but check out the two videos. I think you might find a little bit of information in there for you that'll be useful. Okay? And that's on the website under the product knowledge. Next thing, heard a couple great stories around. One of them was doing a measure where we were bidding against Lowe's with their $97 install. Customer almost wasn't willing to give us a chance to go out and measure, because at $97 for this almost 1,000 square feet, we had no chance to compete because our labor was so much more. You know, their carpet price was similar to ours, but their labor price was going to be, you know, $97 versus almost, you know, $800 or whatever it was. Anyways, the salesperson did a great job, got us into the home, and guess what? The 1,050 feet that Lowe's had measured, we came in at 850. The person from Lowe's had apparently told them they needed 1,050, was charging them for 1,050, and when our estimator said, well, we've only got 850, the customer didn't believe it. Customer challenged him and said, well, you must have missed something. And here goes our estimator pulling out the old Disto, the computer generated thing. Very impressive. They walked the rooms again, measured it the second time, measured it the third time, and said, no, we're doing this whole job, $850 or 850 square feet, guaranteed. If we're short, we're paying for it. Customer couldn't believe it, was thrilled. We were actually cheaper than what Lowe's was. Cheaper, and that was at a price. So if you get anybody coming in saying Lowe's $97, you get anybody coming in saying Home Depot $39, anybody coming in saying Empire has free installation, don't let them believe it. Okay, everybody's making profit. They got to get the margins in there somewhere. They got to get the price up and stuff like that. So we need to get in the home. Again, push for the estimates. Okay, and last thing I wanted to touch on, you know, and again, that's confidence. You know, when you tell the customer, you can tell them, it happens every day throughout our company that guys are, you know, quoting wrong figures, guys are charging too much for or too many square feet or yards and all that kind of stuff. Need to get in the home. My last thing I wanted to talk about today was never giving up. Jim Valvano was a basketball coach at North Carolina State a number of years ago, and he passed away from cancer. And as he was going through this long ordeal, his motto was, you know, they called him Jimmy V. Jimmy V would never give up, never gave up, never gave up. And that's kind of what I want to leave you with all today. Never give up. Keep calling the customers. I don't care if they were in a year ago. Drop them a note. Give them a phone call. Okay? Until they say, hey, I bought elsewhere, leave me alone, you're harassing me, whatever. Don't give up. They're our customer. They came into our store. They're interested in buying flooring. We have to prove to them that we're the right place. We have to convince them. And you'd be surprised, just through the power of you never giving up and focusing and calling them again and again and again, lets them know how truly committed you are to their happiness. How truly committed you are for finding the right product. How truly committed S&G is to be the best flooring store in the nation. Okay? So never, never, never give up. Keep trying, keep pushing, and things will be great for everybody. Hey, I'm out of time. I'll talk to you later. Hey, I'm going to be around this upcoming week with my camcorder. For those of you, I'd like to get some more people on the employee spotlight, so think about what you want to say, and I'll be around to get you on camera. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.